Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside NDF, sponsored by National Dance Foundation. Each week, we interview different members of the dance community who are the movers and shakers, educated, those who really contribute and help it to progress and help with its educational platforms. So today, we are so happy to have Steve Sirico, the founder of Dance Teacher Web Conference, which is a phenomenal conference if anyone's ever been there. I personally love it myself. So, Steve, welcome so much to the show.
Well, Kathy, thanks so much. Thrilled to be here and thrilled to chat about the world of dance, the wonderful world of dance.
Which you've contributed a lot to. So I always like to ask everybody to start out, tell us a little bit about yourself and really how did you become involved in dance?
Well, as a boy growing up, I was really into sports. And then I just loved dance. I was always gravitated towards dance as well. I loved music. I loved the physicality of dance. And more, I started morphing into dance. And I was really popular in high school. I was the jock who was a really good dancer. So, I mean, life was good, right? I had a great time. Went to college for 1 year, studying exercise physiology, was playing football at University of Tennessee at Martin, decided I was going to audition for a summer theater show, got the gig, and talked to my parents about transitioning. And grew up in Connecticut, as you know, very close proximity to New York City. So, it was a 50-minute train ride to and from Manhattan. It started. My parents were very supportive. I started to train really comprehensively in New York, Broadway Dance Center. My first dance teacher, my dance teacher who I really helped mold me here in Connecticut, Mickey Williams, Chuck Kelly. So many great teachers that were responsible for, helping my journey along the way. And from there, started to get work, and that's where I met my wife Angela, where we developed an Adagio act, partnering act, and we had the privilege to perform all over the world with extensive stays in Madrid, Barcelona, West End of London, toured with Wayne Sleep's show Dash, worked in Las Vegas, all kinds of great things, and then bought my former dance teacher Mickey Williams' studio. Somehow 37 years passed since that day when we bought the studio, and it's been a never-ending learning process along the way.
So that had to be quite a difference to go from a wonderful touring career and then the both of you turning around and owning a studio. What was the biggest, I guess just being in one place for a long time was a big adjustment. But what was the biggest adjustment when you first started that studio?
Well, two things, and you're spot on. I mean, when you're touring and you're traveling all over the world, you develop a little bit of a gypsy spirit, right? And I love traveling. I loved all of the places that we went to. So that was a big concern, that not to get stagnant, right? Of just being in one place. So we had that adjustment, and then the other adjustment, we for 12 years of performing and teaching, we were teaching, but we taught for kind of professionals. So we'd go into a studio or we go and do a master class, and it was for professionals. So the first year at the studio, I was a raving lunatic. I thought all the kids were going to be professional dancers. So, I was definitely hardcore that first year. And I realized, I got to tone this down because not everybody wants to be a professional dancer. It was a little bit of a news flash for me. Plus, between my dance training and sports, I have definitely a high energy way of teaching and kind of demanding. And so I had to taper that down a little bit to start, for sure.
That's so funny. I'm laughing because I remember the first time I had to go in and fill in for a 3-year-old preschool class. It was the most nerve-wracking experience you would think I was, was going to be the hardest thing. it's a big adjustment to teach recreational or those who just aren't going to be dancers. So that's so funny. But now you're a studio owner. What prompts you to start a dance convention?
Well, it started actually, Dance Teacher Web initially started as an online resource. And we were teaching for many years at the um, uh, UDMA, not UDMA. See, I have UDMA on my head. At the DEA Teacher Training School. It
Which
was
was
led by Chuck.
amazing back in the day.
Yeah, and Chuck Kelly was the director. He brought me on to teach jazz, and then Angie and I taught partnering for it, and it was really just a wonderful, wonderful program. One of the things that we heard from the teachers was that they loved that kind of comprehensive training, but they wish there was something to throughout the year that they could tap into for motivation. It's easy to get a little burnt out halfway through the season. So that's when we developed Dance Teacher Web, which was is initially started as an online resource, and that's a thriving, amazing community. And when we first launched it, now the way video is and everything that's so incredible with our high def videos, Vimeo. Well, back when we first launched it, now 19 years ago,
Wow.
It was the live streaming aspect was not good. And the videos would start to play, and then all of a sudden the little said would stop, freeze, in the middle of something, and the little dial would go buffering, and then it would start again. And I remember calling my website guy and saying, "Look, if people are going to not like this, the dance teachers are too busy. They can't wait for this thing to buffer and catch up." So we had to navigate through that and compress the videos in a certain way. So from that, we decided, you know what, the community for Dance Teacher Web grew very fast, and we said, let's do a live event where we can connect with teachers, inform them about Dance Teacher Web, this online platform, and how this could be a resource for them throughout the year. And from there, the conference just grew from those early beginnings.
It's amazing. Now, where was your very first live event and when?
Well, the very first Dance Teacher Web kind of workshop we did was, funnily enough, in London, England, at Pineapple Studios. It was a one-day event. We had 11 whole people show up for the event. It was fantastic. It gave us, even though it wasn't a big crowd, it was inspiring, and they were fantastic. And 7 of those folks are still Dance Teacher Web members to this day, if you could believe it. Wow. But our first actual conference happened a year later. That made us think to ourselves, you know what, let's definitely proceed. And we did it out in Lake Las Vegas at the Ritz-Carlton, and we had 175 people, and it was fantastic. It was so much fun, and there was so much learning and working with the Ritz-Carlton for us that were putting on an event, and at that point newbies to putting on an event. Working with those folks was beyond amazing. They helped us so much along the way. They were so eager to impart their knowledge and wisdom, and we were like sponges taking everything in, and they really taught us so much about putting on a successful event. And their motto, which we've tried to live with Dance Teacher Web, we kind of stole it a little bit from them, is ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. I thought to myself, gosh, that's amazing, especially nowadays. We need more of that, ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen. It's a good mentality to live by.
Now, the both of you and Angela, are amazing, and this is why I use the word hosting, because it is almost like you're hosting guests, because everyone feels like a guest that comes, whether they're for the first time or been many years. So why do you enjoy this so much as you're helping studio owners further their education? What really kind of motivates you to keep you going? Because it's a lot of work. So what is your motivation?
Yeah, you know all about the work part. I know that part. Well, it's definitely, look, I think all of us that do these type of events, it's inspiring for us. There's nothing more energizing, inspiring than being around a bunch of dance teachers and studio owners, especially who are in that environment, because everybody's there because they're eager to learn. They understand. Somebody once asked me, what do you think, constitutes the best dance teacher? I said, it's the ones that never stop learning. I mean, we can never, ever, ever take our foot off the gas pedal. We have to be always in learning mode. And that's whether you're a business owner or a dance teacher. We always have to be ready to receive information. And it's not only vital, it's so important for our mental health and well-being, because we need this. We give. All of the dance teachers out there and studio owners, you're giving all the time. This is the 4 days of us giving to you. Our number one goal is to give you the VIP treatment and to make sure you leave the event inspired and nuggets of information that are going to help you excel. That's the whole gist of what we try to do.
Well, I definitely can say you do succeed in that. So I have enjoyed it, and I'm always refreshed. Now, so many things have changed in the past few years. What challenges in putting on this event, or even what dance teachers are looking for, have you noticed, especially before and after COVID?
Yeah, well, I think the number one area is, that the dance student has changed, and the way they learn has changed, and the way they receive information. And I think we're all still learning the best way. And I still think there's so much that we all need to be receptive to change. And that's really, I think, what our industry is about right now. Is we can't get stuck in one way of doing anything. We have to be adaptable. We have to be ready to change, ready to improvise in any way that we can. And I've just noticed, since COVID, teaching the students, it's different. And sometimes it's challenging. And, like I said, I have a certain style of teaching. I've had to adapt it. There's no doubt. And I'd be lying if I said that I like the other way a little bit more, just because of the kind of personality I have. But you know what? It's not about me. It's about our students. So I think as dance educators, that's a challenge. And I think as business owners, I think, the parents have also somewhat changed. So navigating through all of that and learning new ways to do things, I think, are so very important for all of us in the dance business.
And that's such a good point. As a good friend of both of ours, Hetty Perna and I were just speaking, and we said that the parent has changed because that parent, 9 times out of 10, was a dance student for many years. So the expectation of what they're coming away with now for their child is a little bit different. What do you find that most, when the dance teachers are coming to your convention, what do you find are the most attractive type of classes for them? Movement, education, a little bit of combination of both. What have you found really resonates with the teachers?
It's such a blend, to be quite honest with you, because some teachers are looking for this, and some are looking for that, and some are looking for this. And that's why one size does not fit all. It just doesn't, right? What resonates with me may not resonate with someone else. That doesn't make them any less of a dance educator. It just means that they have a different focus. They have a different viewpoint. But some of the things that we find that are really, that teachers, seem to gravitate to are, preschool classes. People are always looking for new ways to engage with the younger kids, and they always are looking for something to challenge them and challenge themselves. And then I think the other thing that a lot of folks are interested in is our classes in injury prevention, injury recovery. That's also kind of come front and center, where there's a lot of more soft tissue type injuries that kids are having. I think part of it is just the volume of training that they're doing, and part of it is the level. I know growing up and dancing, when I was 10, I was not doing anything like what 10-year-olds are doing nowadays. So yeah, so that's changed a whole lot. And so I think teachers are very interested in that. And then as far as the business aspect, I think studio owners are just looking for, better ways to communicate. They're looking for, ways to retain their customers and keep them happy. And, the best way also to gain new students. And those are always hot topics that both sides, whether it's the dance educator or the studio owner, are looking for.
And another thing with your conference, which is something so nice, is you have a lot of the same studio owners and dance teachers that come back every year, and it kind of creates a little bit of a community. So now, and you're in Vegas, so you have a little bit of a vacation, and it's like seeing old friends. I know just even from being there myself, I'll see some of the same studio owners, which is very comforting. That sense of community, which of course NDF is big with, kindness, inclusion, and community, something we talk about quite a bit. Why do you feel that would be a very positive in so many ways to really bring about as a culture in someone's studio today? How could that help them, and why would that be good for them?
Well, I think any studio owner knows the deal here, right? I mean, when you walk into the dance studio, the music goes on, you start to move, all of that other stuff just washes away. It just goes away. Gender doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. Religion doesn't matter. Politics don't matter. What matters is you get lost in the movement and the music, and something magical happens, and the kids come together and you're dancing with them. And it's just, there's an energy that cannot be replicated really just about anywhere. So all of that just without even trying, sometimes that just happens at the studio because all of that other stuff just kind of melts away. So yeah, I think it certainly is an important thing that everyone needs to be aware of. And sometimes there can be, kids can, especially teenage girls, and sorry girls, but sometimes those teenage girls can be a little catty, and they can kind of be a little mean to each other, and sometimes a little bullying goes on. So we need to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen. But through all the years of teaching, and owning a studio, again, most of the time, all of that other stuff seems to just vanish when they're in the studio and working together. And we always tap into that and say, look, guys, you may not always love each other, but respect each other and get along with each other, because those are going to be life skills that are going to last a lifetime. We understand and know, even though, we have a program that we have both recreational and more serious, and but most of the kids are not going to be dancers, but we are developing life skills that are going to enhance their lives and make the world a better place. So yeah, I think it's very important to make sure that environment is intact and in the forefront in your studio, that and all of that other stuff just washes away.
I agree. And that's what makes the experience, especially being a dance teacher, dance educator, there's nothing like it. And for the kids, when you get on that, when you even just do a routine in the class and everything syncs, that feeling is amazing. So that's so well said. So well said. Well, Steve, I want to thank you really for taking the time out and visiting with us today. I love all your insights to everything and letting everything melt away. So before we say goodbye, do you have any final comments you'd like to share?
Well, for all of the dance educators out there, I just have to say again, thank you, and all of the hard work. Look at going through COVID. Right now, it seems like a distant memory, but every now and again, you have to look in your rearview mirror just to see what's going on back there and what you've come through. Congratulations. There have been a lot of Fortune 500 companies that didn't make it through this, but there's so many studio owners that I know that have come through this. We all, at one point we went through the meat grinder, but you've come out the other end. And just thankful to be part of this amazing community, to be able to give back, and thankful for the NDF and for all you guys do supporting all of us in the dance community, because together we're stronger, right? And that's really what it's all about. And we're very thankful to be part of this amazing community.
Well, this amazing community is amazing because of people like you. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, Ken.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in another episode of Inside NDF, featured by National Dance Foundation. You've heard National Dance Foundation mentioned many times throughout the interview. If you'd like to learn more, please visit us at nationaldancefoundation.org. Also, to let everyone know, we are now celebrating National Dance Week in October. So start off your dance year with a celebration, October 4th through 13th. So once again, we want to thank Steve so much for taking time out of his busy schedule. And as we get ready to say goodbye to everyone, as always, keep dancing. Thank you, everyone.